Si vous avez une question, peut-être?
You have any question, maybe?
Janivas pour vous?
Jananivas?
Pas de question.
No questions.
Personne n'a une question?
Nobody has a question?
C'est quoi? Non, c'est pas une question.
This is not a question. Okay.
Omagana Tilandasya, Ganam Janam Shalakai, Shakshu Militam Janata Sunaishi Puravani. Namaon Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Pestaya Putari, Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminitinam. Namaste Sarasvati Devi, Gauravani Prachaline, Nilveshe Shasunyavadi Prachachade Shataline. On pourrait poser cette question.
We could ask this question.
Pourquoi les gens
But why do people are looking for love, but love makes them suffer?
Bien qu'ils souffrent
Although they suffer
de chercher l'amour,
in searching for love,
ils peuvent pas s'arrêter
they cannot stop
de continuer à le chercher.
to continue to look for it, searching.
On voit
We see
quand les êtres tombent amoureux
when living beings, they fall in love,
et que ça se passe pas bien,
and it doesn't go well at some point, because everything has an end in this world.
en proportion qu'on
In
a aimé,
proportion that we love, in proportion we will suffer.
et même ça peut être pire,
And it can even be worse,
parce que
because
si on a aimé,
if we loved,
automatiquement, on
automatically
aime d'une
we love
manière souvent très sans se focaliser
without
véritablement sur
focusing on the object of love. It's a principle.
Ça veut dire que
It means
on
that
travaille,
we
on a aussi
work,
des activités,
we have
de temps en
activities.
temps,
Sometimes
ça devient comme une routine.
it becomes love. It becomes like a routine. It's part of our attachment. And when the object of love leaves, what happens? We concentrate on it, and naturally,
tous les bons souvenirs vont revenir.
all the good memories will come. The lamentation, tears,
Amène une dévastation.
something that brings a devastation. True or not?
Et c'est une souffrance
And it
extrême.
is an extreme suffering.
Et bien qu'on connaisse
Although
de telles
we know
souffrances,
such
on
suffering,
recommence encore
we start again and again and again and again.
vie après vie,
Life after life, life after life,
vie après vie,
life
sans
after life,
pouvoir,
without being able to do any other way.
impossible.
It is impossible for the conditioned soul to not become attached.
En fait,
In fact,
c'est une qualité de l'âme.
it's a quality of the
L'âme
soul.
est manifestée
The soul is manifested
l'image de Dieu.
in the image of
Elle
God.
est une partie intégrante du Seigneur.
It is an integral part of the Supreme Lord, in the sense
Une
that
bonne proportion des
it
qualités
has
du Seigneur, mais
a good
d'une manière-
proportion of the qualities of the Lord, but in a finite way.
Et dans ces qualités,
And in these qualities,
il y a
naturally,
cette
there is
propension à aimer.
this propensity
On
to
est
love.
manifesté pour ça.
We are manifested for this.
Mais quand c'est en rapport avec
But when it
Krishna,
is
c'est parfait.
with Krishna, it is perfect, because Krishna,
Il ne peut pas nous décevoir.
he cannot deceive
Parce
us,
qu'il est sans limite.
because he is unlimited.
Tout ce qu'on cherche,
Everything
c'est
we're
en lui.
looking for is in him.
Mais quand on n'est pas
But
connecté
when we
avec
are
Krishna,
not connected with
on n'a pas
Krishna,
le choix
we have no
que de
choice
s'attacher à
but
des
to
choses
attach
qui sont
ourselves
éphémères,
to
temporaires
things
et
that
très
are
limitées. Parce que
temporary
c'est
and very limited, because this is the nature of the soul. This is why great personalities like Buddha
ont réalisé
realized
que la nature de la
that the nature of
souffrance
suffering comes from attachment. And by detaching ourselves from this world, then the suffering stops.
Dès que vous vous attachez,
As soon as you attach yourself, you will suffer.
donc le processus du
So the
service
process of devotional service
c'est
is
de recevoir
to
le
receive
vrai objet d'attachement.
the true object of attachment.
C'est pourquoi tous les Vaishnavas acceptent
This
le
is why
renouveau.
all Vaishnavas, they accept.
Même ceux qui se marient
Even though those who get
n'ont
married,
pas l'esprit.
Prabhupada
Au
explains,
début qu'ils se marient, ils
at the beginning they get married, they renounce. There's no attachment for
Si on
Vaishnavas.
s'attache,
Because if we
en
attach
fait, on ne
ourselves,
peut pas s'attacher à
we
Krishna.
cannot attach ourselves to Krishna.
Parce que
Because The object attachment that we will have in the heart will predominate on our feelings, on our activities, on everything. It will mean that we'll be in an action. That means we will accept the Lord, but in a mixed way. Because our object of attachment is not Krishna. Automatically, if our object of attachment is a woman or a man, the Lord stays in a secondary. It means we live together, but Krishna is far. We do not develop love for Krishna. It's a principle. If you study, for example, the text of Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his prayers, that's what he explains. He explains, today, I realized that you are in my heart, that this body is your temple, and that I am your devotee. And he says, from today, this house will be yours. My spouse and your children will be your servants. This is an extreme renunciation. There's no illusory feelings in Vaishnavism. Why? Because if we accept accept such pure devotion, then we become introduced in the kingdom of the Lord. Our own material life, our spouse, our children, our husband, they also get introduced in the spiritual world, because the Lord will accept that this place that this kingdom that we have, this place, this house is an agent for being introduced in His kingdom. That means that externally we will serve our family, but internally the transcendental world will also reveal itself. And if there's even this minutest attachment, that becomes mixed. And when it is mixed, the Lord simply observes, because the desire of the living beings, if it is not to become a pure devotee, Krishna cannot reciprocate with them, because He only knows one thing, it's pure love. Bhaktimam abhijanati. It's the only way to know me, He says in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, not by the study, nor by charity, by formal worship, am I known, simply by devotion. So, we must not commit this mistake of engaging ourselves in life for creating a prison. You understand? We must think properly and put things in perspective, so that what we construct becomes a source of liberation. But attachment is a prison. If Srimad Bhagavatam explains that if at the time of death you think about a woman, then you obtain the body of a woman for your next life. Krishna says that the last thoughts at the time of death is our consciousness, and it transports us in another body. This is why there are laws. We cannot do like we want, whatever we want. In this world, there are women and men. They like to smell the body of the man or the woman. But a bhakta, he smells only the body of the Lord, only the fragrance of the body of the Lord. Or things that are purely connected to Him. We must touch only things that are connected to the Lord. We must eat only things that are connected to the Lord. See only things that are connected to the Lord. So the only way to obtain this devotion, this pure devotion, is to accompany with people who want pure devotion. Otherwise, it's like a pit. If we want to associate with someone who doesn't want pure devotion, we are forced to attach ourselves because we're not pure. If we're not pure, we're forced to dilute ourselves. This is why the Lord Rishabhadev explains that when we accept the Guru simply if he is a self-realized soul, liberated soul. Even he says that if someone is a teacher, he should be able to liberate. If he is a husband, he should be able, otherwise he should not take a spouse and have children. It's not so simple.
Quand Krishna dit
When Krishna says
Tadviti
Tadviti Pranipatena, who is the Guru?
qui voit Krishna.
The one who sees Krishna.
Celui-là, on peut suivre.
This one we can follow.
C'est pour ça que
This is why,
dans ce monde,
in this world,
on a un rôle,
we have a
on un
role,
environnement,
we have an environment, a role.
mais intérieurement,
But
on
internally,
sert.
we serve Krishna.
On ne devient pas lié
We become
à
not
cette illusion.
connected to this illusion.
C'est très important.
It's very important,
Parce que si on n'est pas
because if we are not
relié avec
connected
les dévots,
to pure devotees,
alors naturellement, la
so
nature
naturally
de
the
notre
nature of our activity will be mixed.
C'est pourquoi
This is why internally,
extérieurement, bien qu'on
externally, although we have a situation, internally,
les choses toujours
we perceive things always
à
differently.
travers notre relation
Through our relationship with Krishna,
ou à travers notre
or
relation
through our relationship with the Guru Parampara, with pure devotees. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he explains that we give our heart only to a pure devotee, because if you give your heart to someone who is mixed, you will become mixed.
Et qu'est-ce qui va se passer?
What will
Si
happen?
vous entendez des choses
If
sur
you
la pure
hear
dévotion, ça
things
va
about
vous
pure
déranger.
devotion, it will
C'est un
disturb you.
réflexe, en fait.
It's a reflex in
Si vous
reality.
lisez le Bhagavatam,
If you
ça
read
va vous
Bhagavatam,
déranger.
it will
Ou alors,
disturb you.
vous allez avoir une
Or you will
conception
have
du
a conception of
Bhagavatam
Bhagavatam, but that is not pure. That is interpreted.
Il y a un mot qui veut dire ça,
There's a word that makes that is like this, but you say no, it's a mistake.
c'est pourquoi
So this is
il
why
faut bien
we must properly accept
notre vie
our
à
life
travers les Écritures.
through the
Et à travers
scriptures
une guidance.
and through a guidance.
Si on veut obtenir
If
le
we want to
succès.
obtain
Et le
the success,
il peut être obtenu dans
and the
toutes les
success can be
conditions.
obtained in all conditions.
C'est pas simplement pour des gens
It's not
qui
simply for
renoncent et
people
qui
who
vivent
renounce
loin,
and who want to live in India,
dans une montagne, dans une grotte.
on a mountain or in a cave.
Une
It's
conscience.
simply a consciousness
Et d'engager
and
les choses
to engage things
avec telle
with
conscience.
such consciousness.
Par exemple,
For
vous pouvez
example,
aller dans un endroit
you can go to a place
où les gens boivent de l'alcool.
where people drink alcohol,
Et c'est pas pour autant que vous allez boire de
and it
l'alcool.
doesn't mean that you will drink alcohol.
Vous pouvez aller dans un endroit
You
où
can
les
go
gens
to a
boivent,
place where
c'est pas
people
pour ça que vous
take
allez
drugs. That doesn't mean you're going to take
Vous pouvez
drugs.
aller dans un endroit
In
où
the
les
same way,
gens
you can go to a place where people
boivent,
live a diluted life, but that does not mean you have to dilute yourself.
La seule cause pourquoi on
The
va
only
se
cause why we will
c'est l'attache.
dilute is
Parce qu'une
attachment.
fois qu'on est attaché,
Because once we are attached, we have to make concessions so that the object of attachment stays
donc
with us.
si
So if
l'objet de notre attachement,
the object of our attachment is a pure devotee, it is favorable, because we'll abandon everything to become a pure devotee. But if the cause of our attachment is not a pure devotee, we will dilute ourselves gradually. It cannot be otherwise. This is why Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains that we give our heart only to pure devotees, because otherwise we will not obtain success in this life. It's really important, because Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains that the principle of association, when we give our heart, it is the sharing of the material qualities and the faults also. So if you give your heart to a pure devotee, you obtain Vrindavan, you obtain liberation, you obtain love of God. It's not the same gain. This is what Scripture explains. The attachment to a pure devotee opens the door to liberation. This is why everyone is not pure. Not everyone. For example, in the Vedic text, we say that the husband is considered like the guru. To go to the heavenly planets, yes. But if he is a pure devotee, yes. But at the level of bhakti, it is lightly different. Because in the text preach about different levels. There are different stories. Even in the Bhagavatam. We should see the Guru in all things. Because Krishna is everywhere. Once we follow in the footsteps of pure devotees, at this moment we can see the devotee in all things. But if, for example, a woman is married to a man, or a man is married to a woman because the man is considered like the guru, But if the person is not pure, you will follow
C'est
what?
de la folie.
It is madness.
Vous allez suivre quoi?
You will follow what if your husband is not pure?
Où est la bhakti
Where,
dans une personne?
whereas
C'est ça qu'on suit.
we follow the bhakti in the heart of a person, that's what we follow.
Vous allez suivre quoi?
You will follow what?
Vous comprenez?
You
Vous
understand?
allez obtenir quoi?
You'll obtain what?
Alors bien sûr, c'est vrai.
Of course it is true.
Le Seigneur est satisfait si une femme suit.
The Lord is satisfied if a woman follows her husband. That's true.
Mais quand le Bhagavatam
But
parle
when Bhagavatam speaks about the husband, but we speak about which kind of husband?
lisez le Bhagavatam.
Read the Bhagavatam.
C'est ça que le Bhagavatam parle.
This is what the Bhagavatam
C'est ce
explains.
genre d'époux que le Bhagavatam.
This kind of husband the Bhagavatam talks about.
C'est ce genre de femme que le Bhagavatam.
And it's this kind of wife that the Bhagavatam speaks. Draupadi,
Arjuna,
Arjuna,
Kashyapa Muni.
Kashyapa Muni, Aditi.
Donc on ne doit pas interpréter les
So we should not interpret the scriptures.
On doit les comprendre à travers les purs dévots. Si une personne n'est pas pure,
We must understand them through the pure devotees. If a person is not pure,
à travers les Vaishnavas.
that person must do the service through the
Ça reste
Vaishnavas.
le gourou
It stays the Guru.
qui prédomine.
The Guru still predominates.
Sans ça, on
Otherwise,
va rencontrer des problèmes.
we will meet problems.
Et ça, c'est pour tout le monde.
And this is for everyone.
Parce que ce qu'on veut atteindre,
Because
c'est
what
pas
we
la
want to
direction
attain
du mari.
is not the direction of the husband. Because if a chaste woman, wife, follows her husband, in her next life she obtains the gain that the husband has. But if the husband is a pure devotee, what she obtains?
Vous comprenez?
You understand?
Donc le point,
So the point
une
is,
femme peut devenir
a woman
plus qualifiée
can become even more qualified than a man
dans la conception de la dévotion.
in the conception of devotion.
Une femme peut devenir plus
A woman
qualifiée
can become more qualified than a
beaucoup
man,
plus qualifiée qu'un mari.
much more qualified than a husband.
Parce que si elle suit Guru,
Because if she follows Guru and Shastra,
même si le mari n'est pas qualifié,
even if the husband is not qualified,
dans son cœur,
in her
la
heart,
relation avec Krishna,
the relationship with Krishna manifests itself.
et elle peut même inspirer le
And
mari.
she can even inspire the husband to progress. Of course, the husband, the men, they have a big false ego, and they don't like women telling them what to do or what they should not do.
Les hommes ont un gros faux.
Men, they have a big false ego. I am the master.
Et c'est vrai que les écritures védiques,
And it's true, the Vedic scriptures, even Prabhupada says
elle n'a
that
pas cette humilité.
if a woman does not have that
C'est
humility,
difficile qu'un couple-
it's very difficult for a couple to stay together.
Et ça, on le fait dans un esprit de service.
But we do this in the spirit of serving Krishna and serving Guru. And in this way, the harmony is there.
Parce que si le
Because
mari
if the
n'est pas un
husband
pur dévot,
is not a pure
on
devotee,
n'adore pas comme un pur dévot.
we do not worship him like a pure
Ça,
devotee.
c'est de l'imagination.
This is imagination.
C'est de la pure imagination.
It's pure imagination.
Un chat et un chat, un
A
chien
cat,
et un chien, un chameau et un
A
chameau.
cat with a cat, a dog with a dog, a camel with a
Quelqu'un,
camel.
un être humain,
Someone is a living,
qui est dans la vertu,
a human being. Someone is in goodness, and someone is in transcendence. Without
ce sont
this,
des choses imaginaires.
they are imaginative
Avec
things.
l'imagination, on
With
pense
imagination,
qu'on
we think having a
n'obtiendra
connection,
pas.
but we will not obtain the gain because it's imagination. But
Servir les enfants,
serving the children,
le mari,
serving the
le
husband,
Seigneur, à travers
serving the
cette
Lord
voie,
through this house is not an imagination. We can receive the
on
result.
devrait servir l'humanité,
So we should serve mankind in this way,
non juste des enfants,
and not simply children. That's why some people renounce
servir l'humanité.
to serve the humanity.
C'est ça la bhakti.
This is bhakti.
La bhakti,
Bhakti
c'est qu'on peut
is
obtenir le gain à
obtaining
travers
the gain
un mari pas qualifié.
even through the unqualified husband.
Mais pourquoi?
But
Parce
why?
qu'intérieurement,
Because internally
on est connecté
we're connected
avec notre filiation spirituelle,
with our disciplic succession, with Srila Prabhupada,
avec les purs Vaishnavas.
with pure
On
Vaishnavas.
sert les êtres vivants à travers les instructions.
And then
C'est ça qu'on atteint la perfection.
that's how we attain perfection. It's not that we invent our way of doing.
Sans ça, c'est qu'on a déjà dévié.
Otherwise, it's just like we deviated already.
Aux acharyas.
This is what our acharya teaches us. They teach us.
C'est pourquoi
This is why
il n'y a aucune
there's no
situation qui est défavorable.
situation that is unfavorable. Oh, no situation is unfavorable. The only situation that is unfavorable is our wrong understanding.
Si vous voulez discuter,
If you want to discuss,
vous soyez à la classe.
you should not stay in the class. Huh?
Faut apprendre à tenir tranquille un peu.
You must learn to stay quiet a little bit. He understands French. You understood me?
Alors, essaye de m'écouter.
Try to listen to me.
C'est important.
It's important.
Je t'aime. Hein.
I love you, huh?
Mais c'est mon devoir de te reprendre.
But it's my duty to chastise you also.
Ça va, encore 10 minutes. Je sais, c'est long.
I know it's long. 10 minutes more.
Pour les enfants,
For children, it's not easy.
c'est le genre de sujet, c'est
It's the
inintéressant.
kind of topic, it's completely uninteresting.
Mais bon,
But
nous,
for
c'est
us,
important.
it is also important.
C'est important.
It's important.
Est-ce que vous avez une question?
Do you have a question?
Ouais. D'accord. Le point, c'est que
The point is,
le Seigneur
the Lord
a créé
created
dans l'homme et la femme
in the man and woman
des qualités
qualities
et des devoirs,
and duties
originellement.
originally.
Ça veut dire que
That
l'homme
means
a
that the man had qualities
de protéger son épouse,
to protect
de
his
pourvoir à son
his
besoin,
wife,
etc.
to fulfill her needs, and the wife she
Créer
had
l'harmonie dans le couple.
she had to create the harmony in the couple
Son dévot.
by serving
Son
his
épouse,
her
le voir
husband,
comme son guru, le voir même comme
by
son
seeing him like the guru,
Et elle obtenait
and she would obtain
la miséricorde du Seigneur.
the mercy of the Lord, even just
Mais on est dans
by acting like this. But we are in the age of Kali. This was in previous ages. In the age of Kali, it's more difficult because the men, they don't have qualities, and the women also.
Donc,
So,
qu'est-ce qu'on fait?
what do we do?
Pas facile.
Not easy.
On accepte toujours ce
We
principe,
accept always this
bien
principle,
sûr.
of course.
Mais comme je
But
viens de dire,
since
dans le couple,
in the
on voit
couple,
naturellement,
we must naturally,
par exemple, l'homme et la femme sont obligés de travailler. Sans
we see the men and women, they're forced to work, otherwise they cannot maintain themselves. Before the wife could stay in the house, take care of the children, and be a guru for the children. And then she could receive the husband after work, but now we're not in the same situation. So what is the duty of the husband? He stays also in this conception. That means that she must serve the husband because the man, he has in his genes, in his material conditioning, a nature to rule. It's like that. Every man is like he has territory, and he rules over his family, just like the lion, the she lion, and the children. It's conditioning. It's like this, and in this conditioning, if the man does not rule, it does not work. It cannot stay. So already, the wife, she can have an attitude of being submissive, but only if the man has qualities, otherwise it's not possible. It's not easy. You understand? So before getting married, we should really see if someone is qualified or not. It's not so simple. We should even do astrology to see if we're compatible, otherwise it's not so easy. Because in the material world, we fall in love. And from there we engage ourselves. We think we're living with love. I'm looking at you, you're looking at me. You have so many qualities, you're beautiful. And after a while, it passes. And then, how do we organize ourselves after? The organization is that we must have an etiquette in our life. For example, a senior, he must be merciful towards someone younger. And for this to work, the younger must respect the older. If the young person does not respect the senior, then everything is broken. In the same way, if the woman does not respect her husband, and if she does not tolerate certain things the husband do, It cannot work
ta nature, elle est
because
faite.
the nature was made like this. So the duty of the woman
C'est avant tout
is, after all,
de créer cette harmonie.
first of all, to create this harmony and protect the family. Srila Prabhupada explains that the woman is just like the fire, and the man is like butter. If you put fire and butter together, the butter melts. No man can control his senses in the presence of a woman unless he is a pure devotee. It is impossible. Once a man is alone in a room with a woman, he falls down, whether he is married or not. The Vedic scriptures even say that a child can be agitated in the presence of his mother, his own sister, his children. It's not easy. So, the first role of the wife is to protect the husband from lust. It is explained, Prabhupada said, she's a fort for the man. If she is chaste and strong, the man becomes strong. This is why in the age of Kali it's extremely difficult to have a spiritual life, because since women are not chaste, the men only think about sex life. But if a man is with a really chaste woman, so he can be focused on spiritual life. So this is a very important role of woman. She is the social balance. This is why Prabhupada explains that Vedic society tends to protect the woman so that she stays chaste. Because if she is chaste, men can have a spiritual life. It is not possible otherwise. So it's an intense role, because she's the one educating the children. So if the wife is advanced spiritually, the children will become devotees. So the role of woman is really, really important. And naturally, she must bring happiness. She must be the inspiration of the husband. This is why a woman must be beautiful. She must be beautiful for her husband, because in this way the husband is satisfied. Without the woman, there's no balance in society. This is why the woman, they must cultivate qualities. But if the man has no qualities, it is slavery. And this is the problem in our society, that there are certain religions that explain this truth on the woman, but men don't have qualities. So it becomes slavery, and it is terrible. You understand it? It's horrible. That means the wife is submissive to a man who has no qualities. And we don't speak about material qualities. We talk about spiritual qualities. So, it's almost impossible to have a husband like this. It would be a pure devotee. So in the case of a normal couple, we accept together to marry for renouncing. And we serve Guru and Radha and Krishna in our couple, and we become gradually qualified. There's no conception of passionate love. That means we stay together to attain perfection. Otherwise, from the beginning, there is a problem. And all couples of devotees who got married for loving exchanges, it broke everything for passion. It is explained that 90% of the cases, the woman stopped chanting and practicing. I spoke with many spiritual authorities. They were telling me that. They will put everything on her husband, and then when the husband is not there, they stop practicing. If the husband at some point, he does not practice good, if the woman practices good, it doesn't work, she will feel, what am I doing there? She will feel in a prison. She will see her house is a prison, it's not liberation. So the husband must have the same desire to attain perfection. or they are materialists.
Comprenez?
You understand?
Aussi, hein.
It is possible also.
Prabhupada, il dit comme
Prabhupada
ça,
says
les
like that.
images, en fait,
The birds of
ensemble.
birds of the same flock, they associate together.
Donc on se marie pas avec des gens pour rien.
So we don't marry with people for
Parce
nothing.
que on se
It
marie
is
avec des
because
gens
we
soit
marry
qui
with
ont envie
people,
d'atteindre la perfection,
those who want to
soit
attain
parce qu'ils s'en vont parce que voilà, c'est pas leur vie.
either they want to attain perfection, or either their goal is to have beautiful ornaments, to have money, a good situation. This is prostitution.
On est avec quelqu'un,
We're with someone
quelque chose de
because he brings us something materially speaking.
ça c'est de la prostitution.
This is prostitution.
C'est pas de l'amour.
This is not love.
L'amour, ça veut dire
Love
aller
means
ensemble vers l'amour.
to go together towards that pure love.
Parce qu'à la base, il y a l'amour.
Because at the beginning, at the foundation of this, there's pure love of God. So it's not easy.
Peut-être que mes paroles sont dures, mais
Maybe my words are harsh, but they are
alors,
true.
bien sûr,
Of course,
personne,
nobody
à part certains
besides certain devotees
sont purs de cette
are pure in this way.
Tout le monde va au début.
Everybody will at the beginning go through a mixed life.
Mais on ne doit jamais oublier
But we should never forget
que notre but,
that our goal
c'est de devenir un associé.
is to become an associate of the Lord. Because otherwise, what do we do here?
Krishna, c'est
Krishna,
pas une religion matérielle.
It's not a material religion. Krishna is
La personne originelle,
the original person.
le Seigneur qui vient,
He is the Lord who comes to bring back his devotees in his world. He comes for that.
Il vient pour ça,
He comes for that.
pour détruire la mentalité
To destroy the demoniac mentality.
donner
To give
la pure dévotion.
pure devotion in Vrindavan, in Braj. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he comes on earth,
Il vient pour donner
he comes to give
ce que personne n'a jamais
what
donné.
nobody gave.
Gauravani, les
Gauravani,
sentiments
the sweet feelings of Vrindavan.
La plupart, beaucoup
Most
de nouveaux pratiquent sans savoir même
practice
pourquoi ils pratiquent. Ils
without
ont
even knowing why they practice. They don't know the goal of existence. If they get married,
Après, c'est pas grave.
so after it's not a problem, but
Neha
Neha Bikram and Ashwasti. In the next life,
pourra continuer.
we'll be able to continue in progress.
Le Seigneur est miséricordieux.
The Lord is merciful,
Mais si on veut savoir
but if we want to know
quel est le rôle,
what is the goal of the
et quel est
husband,
le but des époux, c'est
what is the
super
goal
élevé.
of the husband, it's very
Les
elevated.
associés de Mahaprabhu,
The associates of
c'était
Mahaprabhu,
Mahabhagavat,
they were
associés
Mahabhagavat.
éternels.
They were eternal associates.
Ils étaient mariés.
They were married,
Mais
But,
c'est quelque chose d'inconcevable.
but it is something inconceivable, the standard that they could have.
C'est pourquoi
This is why
on doit avoir cette
we must have this
inspiration.
inspiration, really.
On doit s'aider les uns
We
les
must
autres
help
pour
each
atteindre
other
cette perfection.
to attain this perfection.
Si dans notre cœur il y a autre chose que Krishna,
If in your heart there's something else than Krishna,
comment le Seigneur va pouvoir se révéler?
how will the Lord be able to reveal himself to you?
Comment notre pratique spirituelle
How will our spiritual practice bring fruits? It's not possible.
Et c'est ça le problème.
And this is the problem.
C'est que comme dans notre
It is,
cœur,
since in our heart,
notre objet d'attachement,
our object of attachment is not Krishna, when we practice, we have no taste.
rien qui se passe
Nothing
dans
happens
notre bhajan.
in our bhajan.
On doit placer Krishna
We
dans
must
notre
place
cœur.
Krishna in our heart
Aimer
and love beings through Him, through Krishna. In this way, we can be protected.
Le Seigneur,
The
de
Lord,
toute façon, il est dans
in
le
any
cœur de
case,
chacun. C'est lui
is in the
qui
heart of
permet
every
cette
living
illusion
being.
de
He is the
penser
one who
que
allows
et même d'avoir une relation
us
avec
to
elle.
feel
Ça serait
that
pas
we are this
possible.
body and that we have a relationship with the material energy. It will not be possible
Donc,
otherwise.
il est partout présent.
So He is present everywhere.
On n'a pas à l'enlever de
We
cette
don't
relation.
have to
On
take
doit
Him out of
aimer
this
les êtres.
relationship. We must love living beings, understanding that He
Il
is
fait cette jonction.
the
C'est
one
lui qui permet d'aimer.
making this connection.
Et à
He
ce
is
moment,
allowing for us to
Krishna va
love.
se révéler.
And then Krishna will reveal it
Krishna va se
Himself in
révéler
this
dans ces
embrace,
relations.
in these
On va
relationships.
attendre l'amour de Dieu.
And then we will attain love of God.
Et ce qu'on donne dans ces
And what we
échanges,
give in these
Krishna
exchanges
qu'on
is
donne.
Krishna.
Krishna qu'on donne à notre
It's
mari.
Krishna we give to our husband, to our children, to our
Ça, c'est
wife.
la prison.
Otherwise, it's jail.
On dit aux gens, je t'aime,
We
mais
say
en
to
fait,
people,
je
I
suis
love you,
prisonnier.
but I make you self-prisoner. I imprison you. Is this love? This is why we call that this is lust. It's a prison we're constructing. But we know it.
C'est juste une prison.
It's just a
Juste une
prison,
illusion.
just illusion.
Et ça, c'est pas notre philosophie.
And this
On
is
doit
not our
sortir de l'illusion.
philosophy. We must get out of the illusion. Thank you very much.